Welcome to ChessWire. I'm your host, Adam Carter, with your chess news. Today is Friday, September 9th, 2022. In your headlines today, Chess.com and Hikaru respond to Hans Niemann's interview at the Sinquefield Cup. Chrysanthemum cracks the anal beads theory. Who's writing? Last, where's Magnus Carlsen? All today on ChessWire. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the Chess.com response to Hans. It was on Twitter last night at 5:58, written by Danny Wrench himself, the chief chess officer of Chess.com. Dear chess community, the last few days have been tumultuous for many in the chess community. At this time, we have reached out to Hans Niemann to explain our decision to privately remove him from Chess.com and our events. We have shared detailed evidence with him concerning our decision, including information that contradicts his statements regarding the amount and seriousness of his cheating on Chess.com. We have invited Hans to provide an explanation and response with the hope of finding a resolution where Hans can again participate on Chess.com. We want nothing more than to see the best chess players in the world succeed in the greatest events. We will always act to protect the integrity of the game that we all love. So I like this for a couple of reasons. I'll get to those first. This is going to kind of be a poo sandwich because we're going to start with the good, get to the bad, and then finish with the good. The first thing that I really do like is that there is a chance for redemption here. I feel like Hans did cheat. He admitted to it. I think that's great. I love that Chess.com reached out and said something. They said, hey, you know, there are some situations here we want to make sure are resolved, and Hans can reach out to us. So I really like that. I'd love to see Hans play in the Global World Chess Championship on Chess.com. I think that'd be wonderful. To the not so great here, though, there is a sentence in here that is an issue for me. We have shared detailed evidence with him concerning our decision, including information that contradicts his statements regarding the amount and seriousness of his cheating on Chess.com. It seems like, at first glance, that Hans in the interview may have been playing back how much cheating there was on Chess.com and how much evidence they have. On the other hand, it seems like they're saying that he's lied to some degree. It seemed like he was pretty straightforward to me. Well, that Hans was pretty straightforward to me. So I think the question is then that didn't get answered here and that needs to be addressed is, did Danny Wrench go to Hans in Miami and ask him to come back and participate in this global chess championship that Chess.com is hosting? Did Hans lie about that? Is Chess.com just omitting that? What's going on there? That's what I'd like to know. So again, you know, I think they're doing their best to keep everything tied down, to make sure that they're keeping privacy with, you know, between them and Hans. And I think that's a good thing. I think they're handling this pretty good, but I think everybody does want to know, you know, did Danny go to Miami, offer the chance to play in the event, and then was that offer rescinded after the Magnus ordeal, and why? This was Hikaru's reaction to Hans Niemann's interview on September 6th. Starts out a bit dramatic here. Then with the
I know yesterday a lot of people were asking me to watch this interview that Hans gave gave after round 5, I think it was, of the Sinquefield Cup. Now, again, due to some issues with St. Louis, I'm not going to be watching that interview on stream. Hans.
Now, see, I don't get that right there. What issues with St. Louis? I believe it's a 501c3 organization. It's not for profit. So, what's the deal there? Maybe you all know, and you can put it in the comments. Get me up to date. I'm not sure why Hikaru wouldn't just stream the interview.
Hans hacked my mic. Good one. That being said, I did actually make some notes, you guys, so I am gonna just read a couple of things that I have in specific regards to what was said. So first of all, the first point I want to make is in regards, just a couple of points with regards to the Catalan. So if we look at this Catalan, Hans made a remark about talking about transpositions is how it make everyone look dumb. Now, what he alluded to is he alluded to transposition from knight c3, d5. I believe he said g3 castles, bishop g2, dc4, and a3. Now, this is a legitimate position that can occur.
Okay, so what he's saying right there basically is that, yeah, this can happen. This is a transposition, and yeah, he's right. So he's kind of skirted past that, but he's giving Han's argument weight right there.
So the first point I want to talk about is the Catalan. So now Hans was saying, of course, from the Nimzo Indian, this position just, Magnus has never had this position at all with this bishop b4, g3, d5, etc., etc. Now what he alluded to is knight f3, bishop b4, and knight c3, d5. It wasn't this order. It was knight f3, d5, g3, bishop b4, knight c3, castles, bishop g2, d4, a3. And this is a line that has been played before. Now I will say the reason I say that this might just be very five-head, but it is plausible, is quite simple. After bishop b4, Magnus has never played knight c3. He's only played bishop d2, at least in the online database I looked at in ChessBase. He's had like 6 games, and bishop d2, of course, is also the main move here. Is played a lot more frequently. It goes bishop d2, bishop e7, and normally white plays bishop d2, castles, queen c2, etc., 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 and it goes on. However, one of his seconds for the world championship, Daniil Dubov, has played knight c3 very many times. Sorry, I was about to say very, very conveniently, but he's played knight c3 quite a few times. So maybe it is five-head. It is possible that Hans was looking at the games of Magnus the seconds, like Daniil Dubov and others, and so that's how he reached this conclusion. And then, of course, he looked at the line leading to transmission, etc., etc., etc.
Okay, so I kind of like what he's saying here. He's trying to backpedal a bit, and good for him. That's okay. I would think this is the biggest thing that Hans is ever going to get to an apology from Hikaru. But basically what he's saying is like, here's some different ways where he could have sprung this opening from, and I think that the main takeaway from all of this is that we're all going to know the opening to the Catalan from now on. We're going to go to this tweet from Chrysanthemum. His post here is pretty funny because basically what he does to debunk the anal bead theory with Hans is by using some reductio ad absurdum, which I thought was really great. So we'll just get to it here. He goes, the answer is actually elementary. Magnus cheats. He's always had anal beads up his butt, maybe for the past 10 years. That's how he's been dominating the entire field of players. There was a slight dip during the time he played Caruana because he was so drunk he couldn't feel the vibrations well and ended up losing the game. His team decided to turn up the vibrations to max, and that's how Magnus survived the encounter. Recently, Magnus realized the anal bead supercomputer design he created had been stolen. Of course, he couldn't come clean about cheating, so he drummed up the excuse of being bored so he wouldn't lose the world championships to Nepo, who he suspects have stolen the anal bead design after being humiliated in the prior contest. Magnus's suspensions were further evidenced by Nepo's performance during the candidates, as Gotham Chess said. However, success is addictive, and Magnus decided to aim for 2,900 before retiring for good. Little did he know the real thief was the cocky supervillain Hans. Hans employed the anal bead tactic against Magnus, being new to use this device. However, Hans didn't know that the signals he sent from the beads interfered with Magnus's device. Magnus feels unprompted vibrations on his prostate and realizes Hans stole his poop shoot stockfish, but couldn't use his oh my god. His poop shoot stock I can't even say it. His poop shoot stockfish, but couldn't use his own retaliate. But couldn't use his poop. I can't do it. His poop shoot stockfish, but couldn't use his own to retaliate, lest Hans knew he was the true inventor of the device. That's why Magnus was uncharacteristically prone to inaccuracies and proceeded to lose the game. Afterwards, Magnus withdrew from the tournament, but not before putting out a vague tweet. While everyone interpreted it as Hans cheating, in reality, Magnus was also cheating, but can't release definitive proof since he'd also been in big trouble. Case solved. Chrysanthemum, Well done, sir. I love it. This was really great. It's elementary, dear Watson. I think that solves the old stockfish in the poop shoot. Well done, Chrysanthemum. Still no word from Magnus. Pretty decent reply from chess.com. Would like to hear more about what happened in Miami between Danny Wrench and Hans Niemann. Next week, we're going to get into the interview with Lex Freeman and the Botez sisters. Really looking forward to that. Thank you for watching and listening to ChessWire. Have a good one.